Welcome to Tony Time, a talk show focused on real talk with real people. And I'm the host, Toni Morris. In recent media coverage, we've heard a lot of talk about women and women issues. As we know, women in our community wear many different hats. So today, as our guest, I have a woman who wears many different hats, Donna Mansfield. So let's welcome Donna Mansfield to our show today. Welcome, Donna. How are you?
Good. Good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Donna, let's begin by telling people who you are. Give me some background about Donna, the woman, the mother, everything. Tell me about Donna.
I come from quite an interesting background. My mother's from Argentina, born and raised, and my father's Puerto Rican. I was born in Harlem, New York, and I was raised in Florida. I come from a very strong military background. All of my brothers served, so when it was time for me to pay for college, because my parents were not able to pay for my college, I joined the military. Served 4 years in the United States Army, and stayed in Fayetteville, married my husband, had a child all in very quick succession. I'm a graduate of Fayetteville State University, and I've just been in Fayetteville for a while, so yeah.
Okay. What did you do when you was in Army? Because nothing about you says Army to me, okay?
A lot of people say that, and I'm very thankful. I must say that I'm a very thankful military veteran, and it really has made me what I am today. Had it not been for the Army, my education would not have been paid for, and other benefits. I was actually a surgical tech in the Army, so I assisted physicians when they were doing surgery, and so it was a good experience.
Okay. So when you was as a surgical tech, what type of things did you see?
I saw every type of surgery under the sun, which was very funny because I really wanted to be an attorney. So it was a little bit of a fish out of water, but it was really interesting. I served on a forward surgical team, which was quite an honor. A lot of women don't get to serve on one of those over in Fort Hood, Texas, when I was stationed there. And it was a really interesting experience. So it was really good. It was something definitely out of my comfort zone, but so was military service. So.
Okay, all right. Now you said you met your husband here. Is that correct?
Yes, I met him on Fort Bragg.
Okay.
He was a physician actually, and at the time, I should clarify, there were no rules about officers and enlisted. I was an enlisted soldier.
Okay.
And so we had a kind of a long courtship. Yeah, we ended up getting married. So,
okay,
yeah.
Great. So military, outstanding. There's the military hat. There's the wife hat. Now I heard you have a child. Tell me about your
I do. I am the proud mother of 2 children, actually, I should say. I have a 19-year-old stepdaughter that lives with us here in Fayetteville, and a 10-year-old son that is now a middle schooler.
Okay, so how challenging is that?
It is extremely challenging. I think that I'm very blessed to be able to be a stay-at-home mom right now, although I do a lot of things in the community, that I don't get paid for, but I'm very blessed to be able to stay at home, and there's a lot of influence on your children right now, and so I'm just very happy that I'm there and able to speak with him and guide him and do all the things that I need to do for him. So yes, but it is a challenge.
All right. Now, you said something. You said you do a lot in the community. Tell me some of the things you do in our community.
Previously in the community, I served 2 years as the board chair of the Partnership for Children, and also served 6 years on that board in total. It is the early childhood program which benefits disadvantaged children, but also does a lot for anything related from birth to 5 years old when they enter kindergarten. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. Even still, we still donate to them and volunteer a lot of my time to them, although I don't serve on the board. Other things, I currently serve on the USO of North Carolina board, which fights for veteran issues and some other things. I also serve on the Education Foundation board here in Fayetteville. Education is definitely my passion, and I know that it is the great equalizer, as they say, when it comes. Doesn't matter where you come from, what you do, or what your background is. If you can get through school, and you can really change your life. So.
Okay, good. So education is very important. Now I'm a former educator, and I'm also a licensed therapist, and I work a lot with children. So you have a lot in common with me. We're right there as women. So as we can see, we wear a lot of different hats. How do you juggle everything?
Well, sometimes it's kind of ugly. If you looked at my schedule, you would be like, gosh, how did you make it through the day? I'm very blessed. Like I said, I don't work, and I do all these things in the community. I donate a lot. I shouldn't say donate. I participate a lot in my son's school, especially last year when he was in Advanced Story Hills Elementary School. It's just something that you do. I think that you don't really think about it. I think it's a responsibility that I have. I don't I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I didn't, but I grew up with a mother especially who really invested her time in us. And I really believe in that, you know, that I like to think of it, I worry about my son, but I don't worry about him as much as maybe other children. My son's going to make it. He has great parents and we're there. I worry about the kid sitting next to him that may not has a parent that works, and I'd like to think that I can intercede for that child and just be there for them. And so I spend a lot of time in my son's classroom, in the school system as a whole. It's something that I deeply believe in. But, you know, overall, I feel like it's a responsibility. We're very blessed. My husband has a great career, and we're very fortunate to live the way we do, and I feel like it's a responsibility of ours to give back to the community. So it's almost like you're on autopilot. I do it just to do it.
Okay. So what do you do to relax? Because you sound like you're very busy with this hectic schedule, and you know that can be overwhelming for people. What do you do to relax?
I actually, I like to work out.
Okay.
I lift weights. I work out with a trainer 3 times a week,
okay.
and I've also run numerous marathons.
Okay.
And I'm starting again to train for another half marathon. It's a passion of mine I've had since I was younger. I was a cross-country runner and a soccer player. So
okay,
yeah,
cool.
My Argentine background comes in right there. So
Okay,
yes.
good. All right, we're going to take a quick break, okay?
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to talk to Donna Mansfield a little bit more about her background, and I think I want to get a little more into her culture so we can get the information out there to people. All right, we'll see you back in a few minutes at Tony Time. Welcome back to Tony Time, where we're having a conversation today with Donna Mansfield. Now, before the break, we talked to Donna about her background, so I want her to go a little bit more into that. So, Donna, again, remind us what your background is.
My mother was born and raised in Argentina, and her background actually is, Argentina is kind of a melting pot, kind of like the United States is, honestly. A lot of European influence. Her father was actually of Italian descent, and her mother was of Gypsy descent. So it's quite a different background. But she was born and raised there. She immigrated to the United States as a college student. To New York City when she was 17 years old, okay. And so she's been here. She's a naturalized citizen now, and she considers herself an American, but she's definitely Argentine through and through.
Okay.
Yes. So, my father is of Puerto Rican descent. I guess he would be what you would call a Nuyorican. He was born in New York, but he was both his parents were from Puerto Rico, and he was raised there and moved to Florida when our family moved to Florida when I was younger. So, yes.
So you lived in Harlem. Tell me about that.
I actually was born in Harlem Hospital. It's quite an interesting story. I was born on Labor Day weekend, and it was a bicentennial, and there was my parents actually lived in the Bronx, in the projects, and so there was no hospitals available at the time, and they took my mom all the way to Harlem to have me. So I was literally born there and then taken back to the Bronx, so yes.
Now, what I'm going to say to you is probably going to shock you, but I was born in New York City, Manhattan. I lived in the Bronx, and I was born on Labor Day.
Oh, you're kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
September 3rd.
I was actually, when I was born, it was September 7th.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We are right there. Maybe that's why we're so close to each other, because we have so much in common.
Yeah.
So I do understand it, because I love the culture when I lived in New York from Puerto Rico. I listened to the music. I love the food. So tell me, do you cook a lot?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I can cook both Argentine and Puerto Rican foods. It's interesting, and I'm very thankful as an American, and I know that especially you hear so much about the divisiveness about people's cultures and backgrounds, a lot of confusion, but I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be an American. I'm very proud to be of Puerto Rican and Argentine descent, and it's something that I like to share my heritage with my family, especially my children, obviously. And it's something that in this country it's such a great part of the fabric of this country that it's almost like a quilt. Everybody comes from a different background. So yes, I cook a lot. I listen to the music. I'm fluent in Spanish. I'm actually fluent in French also. It's something that's very close to my heart. So yes.
So as you can see, if you want to learn how to cook, talk to Donna. If you want to learn how to speak another language, talk to Donna. If you want to know anything, let's just talk to Donna, okay? Because Donna Mansfield has the answers. So let's see. Now, let's talk a little bit about your husband. Because you mentioned he was in the military, you mentioned he's a physician. What else has he done?
Well, he is currently the state senator for District 21. He ran for lieutenant governor earlier this year. Was unsuccessul, but we were very blessed, and we learned a whole lot about the experiences. I'm sure maybe you have recently. Yes. It was quite eye-opening. He's very passionate about education. He comes from kind of a similar background in that he was not able to afford college. His father died when he was 10, and he was able to go to college on an ROTC scholarship and then some other scholarships. And you know, obviously, we were the very typical family. When we were married, he had quite a lot of money owed and student debt and some other things. But he's a wonderful man. He's a great husband. He's a wonderful father, and I'm very lucky. And the community, I feel, is very lucky to have him here. He's a wonderful physician. I always tell people it's not because he's my husband, but he has one of the best bedside manners that's out there. So yes.
So as we're talking about different hats, you can see Donna wears many hats. So let's find out what it was like to be the wife of a senator, because she had to do a lot, because they had the midnight sessions, as we heard about, call to Raleigh anytime, and when he's doing that, guess who's taking up this plaque? Donna. So tell me, what was it like being a senator's wife?
It was interesting. I've always had, we've always spent some time apart as a family. Obviously, as a physician, he has a very demanding practice. Yes. The time apart wasn't really what I worried about more than anything. I think it's the divisiveness of politics right now was probably the harder part. My husband, apart from being a politician, he's also a minister, and I'm very thankful that we're very strong faith, our family is, and it kept us through it. But there were some things that really bothered me as a whole, you know, just in politics in general. I think that it was harder to be his wife, the candidate's wife, whereas in '08 I did so much for the Obama campaign, but you're kind of disconnected from all of that. I think it's much harder. It's very personal, and it's very difficult, and people think they know you, or they make assumptions about who you are based on political party or what you voted. And I would hope that people were more thoughtful and kind. You know, I think kindness will take you a very long way, and I think that's something that's lacking in politics. So I think really the divisiveness is what really probably bothered me more, and the gridlock and the other things. You know, when my husband was up there trying to do this or that, you know, just kind of going into a wall just because, not so much they don't agree with you, they felt they couldn't vote your way because you're of a different political party. So that was the hardest part of it. So, yes.
And since you have children actually, how do you protect them from that as a mother?
I'm very honest with my son, especially my son probably lived through most of it. Our daughter was away at college at the time, and I was very honest with him, and I tried to teach him lessons in everything that happened, whether a newspaper article came out that wasn't exactly accurate, or other things. I really try to shield him. I tell him don't talk about politics in school and other things, you know, and make sure he has to make his own identity in his own way, and I don't want him to be in the shadow of me or my husband and the things that we do. We hope that he is able to live out any dream that he wants to live, and but it is difficult. It's difficult to protect them from that. He's very mature. Okay. He's had some incredible life experiences, from meeting the president and the first lady, going to 4th of July at the White House. But I hope that all around it'll make him appreciate the sacrifices that his father made, sacrifices all politicians make, I should say, and just proud of this country and proud to be here. So yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm proud of you, because you are the face of women. You are the face of every woman in the United States of America. And I want to thank you for all that you have done and all that you will do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Donna Mansfield. As I said, she wears many hats. And if you have questions, let's ask Donna. Thank you so much for taking time to come on Tony Time today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Tony Time. Let's see you again back on Tony Time, where we have more guests, more information. Remember, real talk for real people. Tony Time. Thank you.